Star Trek, Starfleet Academy is for the hardcore fans, says Jonathan Frakes. Argentina-born Hallmark actress Julie Gonzalo recently talked about the fantastic experience filming My Argentine Heart with Juan Pablo Di Pace. However, she could not speak about that joyful experience filming this winter escape movie until she talked about the tragic LA wildfires first. What did she have to say about the city she has called home for the last 2 decades? Julie Gonzalo on the heartbreaking Los Angeles wildfires. On Friday, Julie Gonzalo is featured on the Hallmark Channel Facebook Live event for her new movie My Argentine Heart. However, before the 3-bed, 2-bath, 1-ghost star began to talk about this glorious experience, she wanted to discuss the devastating Los Angeles wildfires. Gonzalo spoke of having made Los Angeles her home for the past 2 decades. She lives there with her partner when calls the Heart star Chris McNally and their 2-year-old daughter. I would briefly like to address the Los Angeles fires that are happening right now. It's really hard to talk about something so fun and so amazing and a really lovely experience that I had a couple of months ago shooting this movie while all of this is happening. She shared her grief for the people there and shared her gratitude that friends and family are safe. Moreover, she thanked the brave men and women fighting the fires. It feels just horrific to watch, and I can't imagine being affected right now, as so many are. She ended this missive, "I do want to say that my heart is with you, and my thoughts are with you if you have been affected." What is Hallmark's My Argentine Heart about? What is the new Hallmark movie My Argentine Heart about? In this movie, Abril returns to Argentina. Her family's ranch is about to be bought by her ex. She is determined to save them from losing the only place they know of as home. However, another buyer becomes a bigger threat. Therefore, she must join forces with the man who broke her heart. But can they start again? The premiere of My Argentine Heart, starring Julie Gonzalo and Juan Pablo Di Pace, is on Saturday, January 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Hallmark Channel. Peacock subscribers can stream this movie up to 72 hours after the premiere. Also, Hallmark Plus subscribers can stream this movie starting on Sunday, January 19th. Before Strange New Worlds gave us a confident, layered, and sometimes haunted Captain Christopher Pike, Star Trek, Discovery laid the foundation for this modern reimagining of a classic Trek character. Once a footnote in the original series' unaired pilot, Pike is now one of the franchise's most compelling captains, thanks to nuanced writing and Anson Mount's magnetic performance. But Pike's story isn't just told in a straight line. His arc weaves through 2 different Star Trek series, and to really understand what makes this version of the Enterprise's early captain tick, his fear of the future, his deep belief in humanity, and his heartbreaking inner conflict, you need to watch select episodes from both Discovery and Strange New Worlds. These 7 episodes reveal the full range of Pike's character, leader, friend, philosopher, and man of destiny. Here are the 7 essential episodes you should watch to truly understand Captain Pike. 1. Star Trek, Discovery Season 2, Episode 1, Brother. Pike's entrance into modern Star Trek is nothing short of electrifying. Taking command of the USS Discovery in the wake of a crisis, Pike immediately establishes himself as a very different kind of Starfleet captain, open, empathetic, and grounded. Unlike Lorca before him, Pike earns the crew's trust quickly, not through intimidation or secrets, but through transparency and mutual respect. Brother isn't just an action-heavy season opener. It lays the groundwork for Pike's core traits, his unwavering morality, his desire to lead through collaboration, and most critically, the seeds of the traumatic knowledge he will soon face regarding his future. It's our first modern look at the man who will go on to become a fan favorite. 2. Star Trek. Discovery is Season 2, Episode 12, Through the Valley of Shadows. This is the turning point. Pike visits the Klingon monastery on Borth to retrieve a time crystal, but the price is steep. He must confront a vision of his own horrific fate. The episode delivers one of the most haunting scenes in modern Trek as Pike sees the moment he is maimed by a radiation accident, doomed to a life inside a mechanical chair, unable to speak or move. But what makes Pike exceptional is what he does next. He chooses it anyway. Despite the terror, he accepts the future because doing otherwise would betray everything he believes in. His moral courage here is staggering. This episode shows the depth of Pike's heroism, not the kind made of bluster or bravado, but the kind that walks knowingly toward pain for the greater good. 3. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 1 Episode 1 Strange New Worlds. By the time Strange New Worlds begins, Pike is struggling with the knowledge of his future. He's isolated himself, visibly weighed down by his grim fate. But this episode shows him choosing hope again. Called back into action, Pike reclaims his role as captain of the Enterprise, but not before wrestling with the fear that his looming destiny might cloud his judgment. His decision to return isn't framed as triumphant, it's introspective, mature, and complicated. Strange New Worlds also reintroduces a classic optimism to Star Trek, and Pike is the perfect character to channel that spirit. A man burdened with knowledge of doom, yet still able to lead with warmth, curiosity, and kindness. 4. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 1 Episode 10 A Quality of Mercy. In the Season 1 finale, Pike gets a glimpse of what would happen if he tried to change his fate. The result is a masterful homage to the original series episode Balance of Terror, with Pike's more diplomatic approach shown to escalate into interstellar conflict. This episode does what few Star Trek stories dare. It challenges the idea that compassion is always the best path. Pike's unwillingness to sacrifice a cadet in the present causes a war in the future. As much as we admire Pike's ideals, this what-if story shows us that sometimes tragedy must occur to preserve peace. It's devastating, and it's necessary. Pike must accept that his fate is not just tragic, it's essential to the survival of others. The moment he returns to the present with full knowledge of what he must do, he does so not with rage, but with silent, accepting grief. Few Star Trek characters have ever shown this level of internal strength. 5. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 Episode 3 Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. In this time travel-heavy episode, Pike plays a smaller role, but his impact looms large. When Layan Noonien Singh is sent to the past to prevent a temporal catastrophe, her return to the present is marked by a deeper understanding of her place in the timeline, and Pike's too. While the episode is about La'an's growth, it highlights how Pike's leadership indirectly inspires others to confront their own destinies. We see Layan quietly grappling with Pike's burden, and by the end, she shows a level of emotional maturity that mirrors the captain she admires. Pike doesn't need to be in the spotlight to shape others. His influence is persistent, subtle, and profound. 6. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 Episode 8 Under the Cloak of War. This episode tests Pike's leadership more than almost any other, and it does so through silence and implication. When the Enterprise takes on a Klingon ambassador who was once a brutal general during the war, tensions simmer, especially for Dr. M'Benga, who carries deep trauma. Pike tries to foster diplomacy, but this time his idealism isn't enough. The ending, when M'Benga seemingly murders the ambassador, is murky, heartbreaking, and morally complex. Pike doesn't punish M'Benga. He also doesn't condone the act. Instead, he shows us a captain who understands that leadership isn't about pretending to have answers. Sometimes it's about making space for grief and trusting the people under your command to make impossible choices.